In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stared by the flash of a neon light that split the night. People talking without speaking. People hearing without speaking. People writing songs that
Probably not paid. Oh, if I've got it on camera then. I don't know.
Thank you. So what's this, he's been freed already, so well, what's this for?
And he decided to give all of his senior mates a get-out-of-jail-free card in that report. The panel did not agree with the Brereton Inquiry's view that some accountability and responsibility could not fall on the most senior officers, and it suggested the issue should be the subject of further consideration. What has the government done with that? Bury the report.
January 26, 2012, before your government will not protect you. The country coming after you is the United States.
Get into the ballpark and get the ball and give it to us, and we will spread it all over the world.
Well, no, according to them. According to them.
He didn't bend any rules. He did nothing wrong. He's completely innocent.
So say them again so that they can sit in my memory a bit better. McBride, Dan Duggan, and Richard Boyle, America.
I did have one of those things.
She put him on. You're online. That's him.
Oh, man. What does it say?
She put it on straight away. Agenda C director Parnell McGuinness come up 8 minutes ago, and she's gone on X and said, taken a photo of Joseph and myself next to the Vindicate Julian, and she says this: a wonderful demonstration of the fact that protest movements become institutionalized, and protesters can't bear to dissolve those institutions even when they've achieved their goals.
Well, if we've achieved our goals, we're a bit crazy to be doing this, aren't we?
Yeah, may I please say something? So I'm only saying this because I was standing right here near this Vindicate Julian sign. So she's taken this photograph of me standing next to the Vindicate Julian sign, and she put onto Twitter my photo standing there along with the lines that our other colleague here, Greg, has just read. So my comment about that is, she's got no idea what she's doing, in that if you look over here, you've got a big sign that says no extradition of Australian citizen Dan Duggan to the US. So she's ignored that completely. On other days, we also have the David McBride banner here as well. So I don't think it's fair and reasonable for her to do that, because she's not got it in the proper context of what the event is, and that was part of the proper context. She's just grabbed one little thing and taken us out of context, and I don't agree with that at all.
Well, we still haven't vindicated Julian.
That's right, we haven't. That's as well, yes, that's quite correct. So, it's a bit crazy, but anyway, it's one of those things.
A classic example of somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about giving us a bit of publicity.
The Lucky Country was published 60 years ago. The rights of that book were bought by the Murdoch Press, or the Australian. They're going to be publishing an article. They're going to be pushing for the revised edition of the book that's coming up this year. But in it says, contrary to what it was 60 years ago, where you've got to fight elites, we've got to protest the system, protest institutionalization. What this revised edition is saying is that the elites have given us comfort. Our position in the world is fantastic. We've got nothing to complain about, and we should, accept the system and love the system for what it is. This lucky country that was 60 years ago, fighting against certain things. No more fighting. We've become wealthy, supposedly independent, a control of our own destiny. Hence, there's no need to fight. There's no need to protest. This is, as Palm McGuinness walked past, we're institutionalized. So why are we here for? There's no need to fight anymore. The fight's over. Is it? Is it? But we're protesting less, is the point.
Yeah.
When we should be protesting more.
We're protesting less because we're dumber than those people were.
The two political Liberal and Labor, have become more entrenched since the 1960s. Why? Because what I've been attuned to in the last week has been Spies in the Outback. It was an ABC podcast, and it was broadcast on ABC Digital Channel 24, where what we're reliving since the dismissal of Gott Whitlam was the 3 days that Parliament was supposed to come back after he was dismissed, where he was going to reveal the truth about Pine Gap and these military installations, and how the Australian politicians, Gough-Whitlam himself was lied to by the Defence Secretary of the time, and he was going to say, no, enough is enough, I'm going to reveal it in Parliament. He didn't get to do so. He was dismissed 2 or 3 days beforehand. This is what we've been reliving since. So the point this year, the resolution this year should be, in an election, a federal election year, we should have a multi-party system to break that, to make it harder for our politicians to become capos or patsies. Legally we'll say patsies of the this world rules-based order coming from Washington. That's coming from Washington. The only superpower that we've ever known. Not China, not the Holy Roman Empire, the United States of America. They're the ones who've created us as patsies, and they're basically dictating. This is what you got to do. AUKUS, 500, which really, 500 billion on the table, does it really protect us? Isn't it really the case that the most protected region in Australia currently is that region outside of the former nuclear test site Woomera, which is now a signals site, basically not a space base but a spy base, and that area outside of Alice Springs known as Pine Gap, which is also not a what was sold to us as a space base, but it's actually a spy base. Those are the most protected, more protected than the Opera House, the Parliament of Australia. That's where AUKUS will kick in when those two places are threatened. Those two places being the hearing aid of the world. But America, the United NSA's, the CIA's listening in, as Julian revealed and as Edward Snowden revealed, those two controlling places in the world that control basically our lives. Who's to say that they then contact Amazon, McDonald's, and would say, we've been listening into this person, send some sort of a voucher or some sort of an economic deal. Who says that economics and war don't combine today? Come on, people. First thing this year you got to do in Australia is get more independence in and break this whole Labor Liberal stronghold. That's how we get Parnell, McGuinness, us activists being institutionalised. No, we get rid of the system itself being institutionalised by bringing in a multi-party system. Harder for those who are pulling the strings now to make patsies or capos of. That's what we've got to believe. That's our 2025 resolution. Our little step.
Okay.
Dan Duggan, it's not Julian's home.
37.
Must a man walk down before you can call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? How many years must the people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer, blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he must see the sky? How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many deaths will it take till he knows too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer, blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. I'll share with you. My feet are my only carry, so I've got to push on through the bell while I'm gone. Everything's gonna be alright. 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 No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Trench Town. Georgie would make oatmeal porridge. It would burn through the night. I would make oatmeal porridge, which I'll share with you. My feet are my only carriage, so I've got to push on through, but while I'm gone, everything's gonna be alright. 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 No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. I hear the train coming, rolling round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on, and the train just keeps on moving down to San Antonio. I was just a baby, my mommy told me, son, oh,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Happy lately, thinking about the world as one, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Oh, peace train, take this universe, come take us home again. Peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ee, ah, you, ah, come on the peace train. Yes, it's the peace train. Join the living. It's not so far from you, and it's getting nearer. It soon will all be true. South on the edge of darkness, there rides the peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take us home again. South on the edge of darkness, there rides the peace train. Oh, peace train, oh, holy roller, come on the peace train. Yes, it's the peace train. Come on the peace train. Get your bags together. Come and bring your good friends too, because it's getting nearer. It's soon will all be true. Come and join the living. It's not so far from you. Peace train is sounding louder, baby. Hop on the peace train. Ooh, ah, ee, ah, you, ah, come on the peace train. Yes, it's the peace train.
Oh, you can.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light that we see. Oh, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't shed a tear just as long as you stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Whoa, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon shall crumble and fall, all the mountains shall crumble to the sea. Oh, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't shed a tear just as long as you stand by me. Whenever Run, run, run with your feet. Listen, listen, listen to your heart. To the heartbeat, to the heartbeat, to the heartbeat of your mother. Yes, 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 I hear her cry. Yes, 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 I know it's time for the healing to fly, to fly, fly like the hawk. Listen to the wind, your sister. Feel the sun, your brother. Give the earth the love she wants, the love from your hearts, the love from your hearts, the love, the love, the love, the love she's given us. Everything is sacred. Everything is sacred. Everything, everything sacred. Don't take anything for granted. Everything's here for a reason. Everything sacred, sacred thing. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Oh, sing hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Sing hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. All right.
Is it?
She's got enough followers to become a I wonder how many followers she has.
You can tell someone struck a few matches in their life.
Okay.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
He's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. And so say all of us. So say all of us. Yay! Okay, where's the knife? Where are the bangers?
Oh yeah, we're supposed to.
Yeah, come on, where's the confetti?
Someone's got to help me with this. I don't know what I'm doing.
Ah! Pull the string.
Now just pull the string.
Look at the cake.
And I just sort of make sure it's not.
That's it. Okay.
Get the confetti, otherwise it will all be good.
Oh, it's not worked.
Dr. Miley Trin has stood up to AHPRA, the Health Care Complaints Commission. They suspended her indefinitely 3.5 years ago. Prior to that, she had an unblemished, almost 30-year career as a general practitioner in Sydney. She discovered, after several months' research at the beginning of COVID, a safe and effective treatment for COVID, and because of that, she was suspended, because she revealed that there was a safe, effective treatment for COVID. Therefore, the vaccine was not necessary and did not comply with the emergency utilisation authorisation or whatever it is. Anyway, here she is, Dr. Miley Trin. I'd like a bit of noise for Dr. Miley, please.
Woo!
Good afternoon, everyone. I stand before you today not just as a doctor fighting for her career, but as someone standing against a system that has lost its way. A system that is supposed to protect the public health, but has instead chosen to punish those who speak the truth and act with integrity. For 3 long years, I have been entangled in a battle with health regulators, the Medical Council, AHPRA, and the Healthcare Complaints Commission, simply because I dared to exercise my clinical judgment and prioritize my patients' well-being. I prescribed ivermectin when it was both legal and, in my professional opinion, appropriate. I did this not out of defiance, but out of a commitment to the people who trusted me with their lives. Yet here today, defending myself in a hearing where my license, my livelihood, and my reputation are on the line. The recent judgment of Dr. William Bay's case resonates deeply with me. Dr. Bay, like me, faced relentless persecution by AHPRA and the medical board. His suspension was based on baseless accusations, and the Supreme Court found that their actions lacked fairness, transparency, and proportionality. Justice Bradley's decision made it clear: health regulators are not above the law. Their powers are narrow, and they have no right to silence or suppress doctors who exercise their right to speak or act in their patients' best interest. In my case, the parallels are striking. 3 complaints have been leveled against me. A complaint from John Smith, riddled with inconsistencies, which should have been dismissed outright. A complaint from Westmead Toxicology, filed without patient consent, an outright violation of ethical standards. A third mysterious complaint with a file number but lacking allegations. Using the Section 34A of the Healthcare Complaints Act, the HCCC terrorized me to surrender medical files in order for the Medical Council to have content to fabricate a complaint against me. Justice Bradley's finding reminds us that regulators must act with integrity and in the public interest, not as enforcers of conformity or protectors of bureaucratic power. What we are witnessing is a coordinated effort to silence dissent, suppress clinical judgment, and punish those who refuse to toe the line. It is not my career that is at stake. It is the freedom of every doctor in Australia to act in the best interests of their patients without fear of persecution. Dr. Bay's case highlights a truth we cannot ignore. The regulator's approach is one of overreach and intimidation. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a system that has strayed from its purpose and now poses a danger to public trust and the integrity of healthcare. I am in the middle of my hearing, and the outcome will have far-reaching implications, not just for me, but for every doctor who dares to speak out, for every patient who deserves honest care, and for the healthcare system itself. The judgment in Dr. Bay's case should serve as a wake-up call to the Healthcare Complaints Commission and the Medical Council. They must review their actions, reassess their priorities, and remember that their mandate is to protect the public, not to suppress and intimidate. If the tribunal rules against me, I would take this fight to the Supreme Court. But let me be clear, I should not have to. The regulators should take responsibility now, before more lives and careers are destroyed. This is not just my fight. It's a fight for justice, for fairness, and for the future of medicine in Australia. To my fellow doctors, do not be afraid to speak the truth, even when the cost is high. To the public, demand accountability from these institutions. Their actions affect not just doctors, but every single person who relies on the healthcare system. As Justice Bradley's ruling reminded us, the abuse of power must not be tolerated. It is time for health regulators to act within the bounds of their authority and to prioritize public good over their own agendas. Let me leave you with the words of John Stuart Mill. Quote, "The worth of a state in the long run is the worth of the individuals composing it." Unquote. Let us demand a system that values integrity, respects truth, serves the people. Together we can rebuild trust, restore justice, and create a better future for everyone. Thank you.
Woo! Woo! Yeah.
Welcome to the 268th Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering. Julian Assange was tortured for more than 14 years for publishing the truth. In 2019, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Torture, Professor Niels Melzer, concluded that the collective persecution of Julian from 2010 to 2019 involving the governments of the United States, the United Kingdom, Sweden and Ecuador constituted psychological torture. The torture was continued for yet another 5 years, ceasing in the middle of last year. The US made it clear that if it could get its hands on Julian, it was prepared to keep him in torturous conditions for up to 175 years. Fortunately, grassroots activists raised public awareness of the fact that Julian was completely innocent, and the US decided to allow Julian's release on condition that he sign a plea deal, which involved him agreeing he had engaged in acts of journalism, which they said were in contravention of the United States Espionage Act, despite the glaringly obvious fact that all the acts of journalism Julian had performed are fully protected by the First Amendment of the US Constitution. For more than 14 years, the Australian government said nothing about Julian's torture, as if in agreement that the US, the UK, Sweden and Ecuador possess the right to participate in torture. The Australian government was therefore complicit in the torture of one of its own citizens. Shame on the Australian government. To this date, the Australian government has not condemned or even acknowledged that Julian was psychologically tortured by any government. The closest we came was when Anthony Albanese uttered the worthless words, "Enough is enough," in relation to the attempts of the US to extradite Julian from the UK. Through torture and the threat of more severe torture, Julian was coerced under extreme duress to sign a plea deal with his torturer. We can be grateful that Julian is no longer in prison, but we shouldn't be grateful to the US government or those that go along with the US government for ceasing their participation in torture. To be grateful to torturers for ceasing their participation in torture when they decide the torture has gone on long enough could only encourage the torturers to torture again. Another torture victim is the Australian citizen Dan Duggan. Dan has been held in solitary confinement in Australia and is about to be extradited to the US with complicity of the Australian government. It appears likely that the US intends to subject Dan to a severe brand of torture in the United States. Unless many people can suddenly wake up and cause the Australian government to do a backflip and disallow the extradition, the American government will get their hands on Dan. The situation is now urgent. Dan may be extradited at any moment. The time to act is now. The situation means that his wife and 6 children are also being tortured. It doesn't have to be like this. Torture is the most despicable crime. None of us need to accept the torture of anyone. The fact that the Australian government is prepared to participate in it should be enough to wake everyone up. We all need to wake up, and we all need to show that we are awake. Torture is a most despicable crime. We all need to address the reality that we are being ruled by those who accept torture as a legitimate tool for governments to use to maintain control over their citizens. We must not be ruled by fear. We must open our eyes and unblock our ears to see and hear the truth. We need to unite to maintain the human rights of our fellow Australian citizens. Truth may be unpleasant, but acknowledgement of truth moves us in the direction we need to be moving in to create a just world. The Assange movement continues. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Thank you.
Free Dan Duggan!
Free Dan Duggan!
What do I do? Follow you?
We are all Assange.